right, guys, I'm here with Chris Hawkins, and we are at the Shiney Hiney Truck Wash. And we are off exit 27 on I-49. Is that right, Chris?
Exit 27, we're the northernmost exit for Neo Show. There's only 2 exits off Interstate 49, and we're the north one.
I got you. And what do you wash here, Chris?
Well, Skip, we wash everything basically. If it fits in the building, we wash it. Currently, we've got grain hoppers sitting here. We've got a pneumatic truck, pneumatic tanker in the bay. There's a wrecker sitting back there waiting in line to get washed. We do everything. That truck just came out of the bay. Obviously, that guy's really proud of it. It's personalized. It's got I Am Wrath on the back of it. But that's a beautiful old Kenworth. We see an awful lot of, we do a lot of non-company trucks. We do a lot of company trucks too. Everybody calls it plastic truck or whatever. We do a lot of those. But for the most part, we do a lot of beautiful owner-operator trucks. We're really, really proud of them.
Okay. Can we go inside and look around?
Absolutely. Come on in. Feel like I'm on an episode of Cribs.
Man, that thing is shined up good. Wow. That looks nice. Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Hello, everybody.
So this is the lobby. Amanda over there doing her job. She's our evening cashier. Her husband, Chris, is supervisor out in the bay right now.
Okay.
So she keeps him in line pretty well.
Can we take a look out there, or are they too busy?
No, they're not too busy.
All right. Is it this one here?
It's this one here. The dark bay, that's our polish bay. We actually
that's right.
have a polishing company that leases that bay, and I don't own that business. Briley Waits does. He does a fabulous job. He's a polishing guy, Joplin area, and does an amazing job. He can make anything aluminum or stainless absolutely look like chrome. And they're busy all day long. They start off the day, clean. By lunchtime they look like a raccoon. Their entire body is black except for their eyes.
Yep.
But they do an absolute amazing job. They really make these trucks shiny.
Ooh, got one sitting in here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're done with it or not. I got to turn the light on here. Hey Siri, turn on my flashlight.
Yeah, Chris, I did see a tank polish out of here, and it was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. This is a flatbed trailer. There's a trailer and all in here.
Oh, yeah.
Turned it off. Okay. It looks like they're done with this truck. They did wheels, they did tanks, they did stacks, they did breathers.
That tank's sharp, man. Yeah. Look at that.
They did the visor. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they did the grill shell, front bumper. Then they got all these wheels lined up over here that they've done.
Man, that's pretty.
It's a lot of work. These guys really put a lot of elbow grease into their work. And you can see it's a pretty messy job.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, it absolutely has to be messy. That's wow. That is shining. That is really cool.
Well, Briley's work is absolutely fabulous. So you can see they've got a tank off of a truck on a stand back there that they're doing. They don't normally take them off. Somebody must have carried that in, but they polish them on the truck. They don't usually take anything off. They take the hardware off the wheels and typically polish the wheels on the vehicle.
Yeah. Wow. That is nice. Somebody Colin was telling me that they even did a Yeti Cup for somebody one time.
Yeah. They actually did a bicycle. And if you've ever seen on Facebook a polished Tesla truck, Briley was the first guy to ever polish one of those. Now,
really?
There's other people doing it, and he's actually working with a company over the process, and there's bigger things to come from that maybe for him. But he was the very first one to polish one, and if I understand it correctly, it's been a little while since he's told me this story because I don't see him on a daily basis. But he's doing one for Shaquille O'Neal and one for Joe Rogan.
Wow!
And supposedly going to be on Joe Rogan's podcast to talk about the polishing.
Oh, that is cool.
That is
That
pretty
is
cool.
cool.
That's pretty
Yeah.
pretty high end to get
Yeah,
to
it
work for
is.
those guys.
It is for real. But yeah, that is. Yeah, that's awesome. Can we see the wash bay?
Absolutely. Come on out. Excuse me. Guys are right in the middle of a wash. Looks like they just started.
Now, you said you could do oversized loads too. Do you do those in here or do you do those outside?
Oh
Or?
no, we wash everything inside.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, everything will fit through the door. Our doors are oversized. They're 14 by 14,
okay,
which is a lot larger than anything legal to drive up down the road.
okay.
We do a lot of the extended length trucks, the ones you see with 15 or 20 axles.
Yeah,
We do a lot of those because they can navigate our parking lot,
okay,
and other truck washes they can't get in.
okay.
So we have two of these bays that are identical. We have bay one and bay two. Right now we're just operating out of one bay because we're a startup business and our uh, amount of volume has not been up to where we need it to be to open both bays and keep them fully staffed. It's looking like if the sun will stay out, we're going to have to open up the second bay and bring some people back that are currently on layoff
Okay.
and get that opened up.
Okay. Wow.
There's a lot of detail to what they're doing. The bugs get in the crevices. It's really easy to get the outside of something, but you forget about the backside. So these guys are put a lot of effort into learning the hidden places on these trucks. And the number one thing that they put a lot of focus into is their rinse job. It's pretty easy to get the bugs off because you can see them, but it's really hard to get that soap that gets in behind out. Well, then you go down the road and that soap blows out and leaves the street. So we make sure and do an extensive amount of rinsing. We probably spend more time rinsing than we do with washing to make sure we get all the soap off. But everybody's got their designated area that they work on. We got a pretty strong procedure. You won't see the guy that's working at the front of the truck working at the back of the truck. He's got his designated area that he's responsible for.
Okay, let me ask you this. How long does it usually take to do a truck that size?
Today they averaged about 15 minutes.
Wow.
In their this one bay did 30 trucks in the day shift. And if you do the math, that averages out to 15 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
There were a couple of washouts in there that were actually expedited, so that got them some extra time.
Okay.
Some of these trucks may have took 20 and 30, but they caught up with some other stuff. We did a lot of washouts too. We get a lot of trucks that we wash the tractor, the outside of the trailer, and the inside of the trailer.
Okay. Wow. That is cool. Okay, now over here somewhere I know is the automatic.
Yeah, follow me.
Okay.
We're going to walk through bay 2. This bay is fully functional. It doesn't look like it right now because the hoses are not very tidy, but it's fully functional. It's just we're only keeping enough crew in here to operate the one bay.
Okay.
And this is the automatic. This is an amazing machine. So it's we'll show you the equipment in the back here in a bit, but it actually scans the vehicle when it comes in. And when a vehicle pulls in, it's very sophisticated. It stops you, and then it infrared scans the vehicle and details the wash to it. So it can wash the smallest car. As a matter of fact, we had some on-rig guys drive a UTV through here, like a Razor, in the wintertime and sat in it while it was being washed. They were just being silly, but anyway, it'll wash something that small, or it'll wash an oversized load, anything up to 80 feet long. So, and it just details it. So, and it stays 18 inches away. And when I show you one of the scans, you'll see what I'm talking about. It actually draws a picture of what it's going to wash. So it takes off and it reads the scan. It doesn't waste any of its movements. It reads the scan, it stops the back of the vehicle, does a little bit of math, and then it takes off. On its next pass by, it's pre-soaking. And then next pass by is another pre-soak, and then it starts its wash procedure. And then it goes through a rinse procedure, and then it does a spot-free rinse procedure, then it does a wax procedure, and then another spot-free. And
wow.
Some of our egg trucks get a sanitizer course, and the final pass on it will be sanitizer.
Okay.
But that's only on a specialized wash.
Okay.
But it's very very
Wow.
sophisticated, very smart.
That is neat. That really is.
The
That's
doors
awesome.
work automatically. This bay is available 24 hours a day.
Okay.
You can pull up to the kiosk, swipe a card, put cash in it, do whatever you got to do. It like any other smaller automatic car wash. Another unique advantage to this is it's touchless. There's nothing touching your vehicle. There's no chance of it getting scratched or the mirrors bent or the antennas bent or anything like that because it's just water. And it's very high pressure and very high volume. It sprays 70 gallons a minute in its rinse
Golly.
procedure. It's amazing how much. Uh, it struggles a little bit with demudding. If you've got a situation, say you've been out haying cows and you got a bunch of mud up around your wheel wells and you got a bunch of mud in your running boards, probably not going to get that off because even though the water sprays in circles and sprays up and down, it just doesn't get down at the angle that is. It'll wash right past that mud. It'll make the running board look absolutely beautiful and brand new with a big chunk of mud behind it. That's a little aggravating, but other than that, for anything that's got normal road grime, just normal bugs and just debris that's on the road and so on, just normal stuff, it does a fabulous job. We also have a high pressure wand here for that extra mud, and it's live all the time. So if you come through our automatic, we have a debugging spray gun down there. So this time of year when the bugs are really bad, you can actually put some pre-spray on your bugs, and then you can actually hit the high spots with this if you need to.
Okay.
It's there just as a secondary.
Okay. Now that's something I wanted to talk to you about with the hours. So 24 hours a day, anybody can come in here and get their car washed?
24 hours a day. Absolutely.
Okay. How do you pay for it? Is there
There's a kiosk out back.
Oh,
Come on down, I'll show it to you.
Yeah, let's look at that.
Yeah.
So if a guy's running up and down on I-49, middle of the night, and wants to get cleaned up, he can just swing in here and get an automatic wash.
Absolutely. The truck drivers have been a little bit scared of the automatic process because, you know, they've always went to the other truck washes and had their truck washed the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
And it's fine. That's a great way, and there's a lot of times that's really important. It disappoints me that this has been slow to catch on because it's so convenient. But like right now, we have I see 3. I think there's 4 trucks out here waiting in line. And any of them could come right in here and get washed right now and get out of that line. But they choose to wait. But here's the kiosk.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's very simple. If you'll notice our names, we're kind of, well, I mean, obviously the Shiney Hiney truck wash, so we're a little bit ornery by...
wonderful marketing. I mean, absolutely wonderful marketing.
I get to take the credit for that because that's I dreamed that up. And Dean Willie, a guy that races out of Kansas City, owns Gator Graphics, and we met by accident on the racetrack. We actually had a situation that I caused. I monster trucked him. I was trying to pull a monster slider, and it didn't work. And we didn't know each other at the time, and we weren't on the best of terms after that deal happened. But he's a very good dude, and so we became friends after the confrontation. We didn't necessarily have a confrontation, but I reached out to him after the fact and took credit for being an idiot because it was all my fault. So anyway, I tell everybody we met by accident, but he got even with me because I gave him my ideas, and he designed my logo with his team and then built all my signage. I mean, he built that big, fabulous sign, installed it. So
I mean, that's the marketing is just amazing. I mean, when I first saw this, I said, I cannot believe how awesome that is. I mean,
well, I just love it. I just love it. Well, so when I was a little kid, we lived in Springfield for 6 months when my dad was working for his cousin as a plumber. And every morning on the radio, there was some advertising for the Hiney Winery in Lampe, Missouri. And I was only in 2nd grade. So I didn't know if it was real. I didn't know if I could even say Hiney because I wasn't sure, but I sure loved it. And I thought it was super ornery. And I'll never forget that. Well, come to find out, it's not. It was a national marketing deal that people syndicated and sold that. And radio stations would make it fit their local area. Because one of the sisters' names was Ophelia Hiney, and Uncle Lots of Hiney. I mean, there was a whole bunch of
Yeah.
goofy names and things like that, but it was just a spoof, and it was really funny. But I'll never forget that. So I always thought, well, I didn't always think, but when I was trying to come up with the name for this, when I come up with the concept, um, Kylan and I were driving back from we were racing at Fort Smith that night, and he was driving, and I was riding, and I had told him earlier in the day that I intended to do this, and we talked about it a little bit on the trip down. So I just out of the blue, I just told him, I said, well, I just named the truck wash, and he looks at me kind of funny, and I said, what do you think about this? I said, Shiney Hiney Truck Wash. He goes, that's freaking fabulous.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and if you think about it, driving down the road, our lights were glistening off the back of a stainless steel reefer. And I'm thinking, that's got a Shiny Hiney on it. That's a perfect name for a truck wash.
Absolutely.
So we got the Shiny Hiney Truck Wash.
Great job.
Yeah.
I mean, for real, great job.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
but
that right there alone, should make everybody that comes through Neosho, Missouri, stop here and get washed up. That's amazing.
And get you a Shiny Hiney Truck Wash shirt.
Heck yeah.
Now we have kid sizes on the way. They should be here soon. We're sold out of hats currently, but they're on order. So, but we do have quite a bit of merch in stock.
Show them my back. I bought this Friday. Right there.
Yep.
Love it. Love it.
And if you'll notice the names of our washes, they might reflect the most American movie ever made. We have the Bandit Wash, and we have the Snowman Wash. We have the Buford T. Justice. We got the Pigpen Wash.
Make a purchase, make a selection,
So,
then enter the
That's pretty cool.
Most of our washes are actually named after, characters from Smoking the Bandit or Convoy.
Yeah.
We got the Cowboy Wash. That's for dually pickups, cars, SUVs, because most of the other automatics, especially the one here in town, won't wash a dually. So we have a lot of customers that want it on our monthly program. We have a monthly unlimited wash, one wash per day, so up to 30 washes a month for $49. You bring your dually pickup through here every day if you want to. They're gobbling those up. Just absolutely love that wash. But the other wash in town, and I am not knocking them because we used it before we owned a car wash. They do a great job, but it's not touchless. And it's got the foam paddles, and I just never liked that. Now, I am not talking bad about them. They do a great job. There's a lot of people in town that are very satisfied with their service, and I know them, and I think they're good people, and they have a great business, and I didn't really intend to compete with them. But the difference between us and them is we're touchless. So if that's something that bothers you, we have a resource for that.
Right. So no marks at all on something that comes
It's
through
impossible for it to get marks. We have it's got so much power that some late model Ford pickups, Chance Mangrum is another racer that came down here, and it actually knocked a little bit of the aluminum body trucks. It actually took a little bit of paint off in places. It's got so much power.
Wow.
I guess there's some problems with the paint sticking to those aluminum bodies.
Okay.
But anyway, it does an amazing job. We have had, other than that little bit of deal with the paint coming off his truck, we've had no other issues.
Okay.
No, it's not caused any damage to anybody's vehicle. No bent mirrors, no anything. No scratches, no nothing.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, wow. I love it. I love it. And you're a racer that supports racing. That's a big deal for me.
Well, I appreciate that. Racing's been good to me over the years, and not necessarily always on the track. Racing's a big part of my business, and we'll get into the racing stuff here in a bit.
Yeah.
It really lays the chemical on.
Yep, there is Eldora mud and Monette Motor Speedway mud on that thing.
Monette Motor Speedway was in the absolute best shape that I've ever seen it in.
Boy, it is nice. That track it looked great.
We went over there and tested it night before last, and they had it absolutely phenomenal again.
So 70 gallons a minute.
Yeah, it'll blow 70 gallons a minute during the rinse cycle. that was a wash cycle. I'm not sure what the usage there is, but you'll see when it goes to rinse in here in a minute. It's amazing the water that flows through those jets.
It smells good in there too.
It smells clean.
Yeah, it does.
It's just phenomenal, the technology to be able to wash a semi, 18-wheeler, or a pickup.
Yeah.
And get the same quality of wash. That was the wheel blaster function there.
That looked pretty good.
I like the fact that it doesn't waste the movement. Every time it's moving, it's doing its job. It shows up every day.
That's just amazes me that you can pull a semi through there, and then just pull a car through there, and it knows.
When you see some of the scans, that will actually make sense on the technology. That is a scan image right there. That is what the computer sees.
Oh,
I get an email every morning that shows. So obviously this is a feed truck, probably either a Lou Thompson or an Opal Foods. Let me get you another one up here.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That was another unique vehicle that came through yesterday, and it just detailed the wash. You see the lines here.
Yeah.
That's showing it's telling the wash wands how close to get. Yeah. So your wash is completed.
Wow. Man, that was fast.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. Then there's just a standard pickup we washed. These are all yesterday washes. So I didn't pull up any current scans from today.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right, I'm gonna pull it out here and get some video of it.
All right, so
Chris, that may be the best that truck looks since it's come out of the dealership, and I'm not sure that it looked that good when it did.
well, I mean, for a Dodge, it does look pretty good.
Oh man, that's not right.
I mean, it could be a Chevy. No, I'm just kidding. It looks really good. This machine's pretty amazing, and like I say, it'll do the largest semi or the smallest car or this truck. And it has its limitations, but it does a great job.
It looks awesome because that truck, it had no joke. It had Eldor dust and mud and Monette Motor Speedway must and dud caked on that hood because all the rain we've got.
Yeah.
It just made mud up here.
Yep. Yeah.
And man, that looks good. Holy cow, my tires even look good.
Not too bad.
They were all pretty cruddy. Heck yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Chris, that is cool. That is cool.
Well, I'm glad you're satisfied. We have a lot of satisfied customers.
I am definitely.